Hello everyone, I am Cheat Freak, and today I am starting a series of videos, probably not that many, but I'm playing Crazy Machines Inventor's Workshop. Uh, Crazy Machines, for those unfamiliar, is a series of games where you sort of solve these Rube Goldberg-style puzzles using objects that you are given. The objective is variable, obviously. For example, in this one, you have to get all of these items into this here. Very difficult. This is the first in the series of Crazy Machines games. This is Crazy Machines Adventures Workshop, which is actually part of the English version of Crazy Machines The Wacky Contraptions. The game was originally released in Germany in 2005, or maybe 2004, actually. These games are frequently on sale for very cheap on Steam. And that's the version I'm playing, of course, is the Steam version, because that's how you play games these days, right? Anyway, basically you have objects, the objects have functions, you bring, for example, bounces, pretty much mostly self-explanatory kind of stuff. They give you a premise for each task. I won't be reading this out loud, though, I mean, you can read it if you'd like, or buy the game and play it. Read it yourself then. So, we have 102 tasks here. I know for this first video I'm going until task 27. So this is the first Crazy Machines game. Work out for me there. This game came out in 2005 here in the US, and I actually played it relatively close to its original release, which is kind of odd for me, but yeah, it did happen. I got this as a physical copy many, many years back. Well, simply put, it's an okay game. I wouldn't call it like the best game in the world or anything, but it's certainly like a fun little puzzle game, and part of it's that I grew up playing it a lot, so I guess you could say I have a bit of bias. But yeah, okay, so this is the introduction to the steam machine mechanic. Basically, when you boil the water into the steam machine, the steam pours through the pipes, and at the end of the pipe, whatever ends of the pipes you place, you can put in an object, and the object will do what it. In this case, it's like a like a steam whistle. And this is like a gate. Or I guess it's a pipe valve is what it calls it. So basically, if it's not activated, then the valve is closed, obviously. But we want the ball will fall and hit it as soon as you play, so. And then, I'm gonna cook this hot dog using another candle, because that's the goal, right? Or sausage, I suppose. Those familiar with Wacky Contraptions game may actually notice that I'm using a skin for this game that makes it look like something a little bit different. This whole user interface here is very wood grain in the copy of the game I'm using, because I actually went ahead and got a copy of the original German release of Crazy Machines, which actually features this user interface scheme instead of the sort of rusted metal look of the sequel, which is what the English localization is based on. So, I did this just because the puzzles I'm actually playing are from the original Crazy Machines, the one called Inventor's Workshop. I just thought it would be a nice little touch to add, because I'm playing the game in English, obviously, so I'm not about to, just play the German version. But I figured it would be nice to at least make the game look like it should, for fun. You may notice my controller, well, I'm using a controller. The movements of my cursor are very robotic and strange, and that's because I'm using Controller Companion to play this. Using a custom profile that I put together specifically for the first 3/4, depending on what language you speak, Crazy Machines games. I don't know if we've covered belts yet, but basically, you know, belts, cogs, connect belts and cogs together, and cogs can touch each other as well to turn, and the direction of the cogs, spin dictates various things about, you know, how the game, dictates various things, basically. I just need this, right? For example, if we put a cog and then another cog here, if we had one, for example. Interesting. Not quite. Do I have to, like... So this is something that's weird about this game. Sometimes, just weird stuff happens. Like, you see, nothing really fundamentally about this problem has changed here. Like, I was still able to connect the belts, but now, all of a sudden, the candle gets far enough. There's some weird, like, little inconsistencies in this game that you kind of get used to, or just used to dealing with, I suppose. And, I mean, that's all I was about to say about it. It's got some oddities. So in this puzzle, we have to get this crate in the hole. I guess the best way to do that is, what? Something like... this? So, that... in there. Yeah, there's a zoom feature. Actually, I don't think most people know that this feature even exists, because every video I've seen of Crazy Machines, nobody ever actually uses it, but it's really useful for doing, like, precise placement of things. And there's actually ways you can break the game's puzzles using precise placement of objects. Which I find, at least, entertaining, personally. No, wait, I think I need to do actually. One here. And then I don't think I need this. Oh no, I actually do need that. So what I need to do now, obviously, rubber band. Grab the gear, I'll attach it here. And that will cause both of them to spin in the same direction. Both branch off of the gear, so. There's a lot of little puzzles like that where you just have to, like, decide which way to get the gears to spin and stuff like that. They obviously, like, when you connect one cog to the other, the cog that is, if one cog is spinning clockwise, then the one that's attached to it will spin counterclockwise. Makes sense, right? Is that how it works? This game has a point system. You'll notice at the bottom that there are two counters. One of them counts down when I place objects, and one of them counts down as time goes on. Basically, the objective of Crazy Machines, at least secondarily, is to get as many points as you can. Yeah, I mean, points are something. I'm not going to fret too much about them, because if I have to re-record or fail recording, what will happen is the points will actually reset. Because they expect you to complete, in order to get a high score, they expect you to complete all 102 puzzles in a single sitting. Which it's easier said than done, I'll put it that way. It takes a while to complete all of these puzzles. As you can see, I'm only on 13, and I intend on getting to 27 for just this first video, so I mean, it can take a while. Every so often, like every, throughout the game, there's 4, like, checkpoints almost, I call them. They're not actually checkpoints, though, they make a very little difference, like, to you as the end user, but, basically they just give you a title, right? Like, like the first title I'm going to get is going to be Trainee, right? And, when I get that title, that's about it. I mean, it's just a title. I just found it to be a good spot to split my recordings at least for the first few videos. some of the later puzzles actually can take a very long time to solve, either just because, like, they're daunting, number one, which does happen. This game can be quite difficult. In spite of its simplicity, and like, simple mechanics, this game does get quite difficult, as you get into it a little bit further. This puzzle. Connect this to this, and this, right? Okay, and then I have a solar panel. That. Yeah, so the first Crazy Machines game doesn't actually have like an absurd amount of elements, is what the game calls them, which are really just anything that makes up an experiment, like these boards, this ball, the C4 pack, the battery, etc. Those are all considered elements. And you have an element selector over here, which, you know, you scroll through and it tells you how many of each object you get. And it's something, I guess. Alright. I won't be reading most of these because a lot of times the objectives are really self-explanatory. Like, see for this one, you know, they have arrows pointing at the thing you need to activate, so how hard can it be, really, right? Obviously, I'm going to need to have something to switch, connect up some stuff here, that, that. We're going to go ahead and do one of these because the belt won't reach from here all the way up here. Have to do here in between, and that should do it. Some of the, like I said earlier, there's some weird finicky mechanics in this game, and there's actually like a guide that the game comes with that sometimes you'll see the solutions they give don't actually really work, which is really quite silly, I think. But it's just how it is, I guess. One of the earlier puzzles I did with the magnet here, like this magnet, there was a puzzle earlier where I had to use a bucket. I had to move a bucket with a magnet. That one's always really finicky, and people always tend to have a difficult time with it for whatever reason. To the point where I've actually seen people, like, on the Steam forums for this game complaining that the game is impossible or bugged or something. And it's not actually bugged or impossible, it's just this game is kind of old and its mechanics are a little bit stubborn, to say the least. Use here. Kind of like nails with it. In the description, I'll have a link to where you can download this texture pack, along with the original one that it comes with. I imagine if you're going to install the texture pack, you're going to replace the old textures with the different ones, and if you ever want to switch back, you'll be able to do that very easily. And I'll also have a link to my Controller Companion profile. So if you happen to own Controller Companion on Steam, it's $2.99. You can play Crazy Machines with it, and it's actually a really good game to play with this. Actually, I almost feel like it plays better with a controller than it does with a mouse and keyboard in some cases. So, I mean, you feel free to take that with a grain of salt. But personally, I think it works out quite well. Particularly because the keyboard mapping for this game is not... It's not stellar, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like, the arrow keys are used a lot, and there's just random keys for things, like S is to start the experiment, and then there's, like... It's just some silly stuff, really. And if you map everything on a controller in a sensible way, then you know you'll only have so many controls, and The good part about a controller in general is that, you know, it's accessible. You know what I mean? Like, all the buttons are easy to get your hands on. You know what your controls are. As long as you know what the controls are, you're gonna be all set. Or, spoiler, yeah. That should work. I don't know where to put this yet, but... Boiler tube. The pipe and the... And we'll just... Accidentally deleted a pipe. Sometimes this game can be a little... See, it looks like I'm clicking on it, but I'm not. There's a couple of little finicky, like, control quirks to this game. Accidentally. There we go. So now this is all connected. Now we just need to, use this handle here. I don't know if that will work. That should do it. Then we can connect up the belt to generator. Basically, you want to spin this to generate electricity. I don't know if I've come across one of these. I'll explain it. And of course, you need to blow up this before the pack goes off. So also. And there we go. First 26 down. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone. This has been part 1 of Crazy Machines Inventor's Workshop. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, maybe comment if you're interested. Yeah, have a good day, everyone.